Welcome back to Healing Growth. I'm Lucky.
And I'm Mika.
And today we're diving into something that I think a lot of our listeners have probably experienced. And it can be kind of a jarring experience when it happens. And that is what happens when somebody reaches out to you.
Yes.
After you've gone no contact.
It can definitely throw you for a loop,
Yeah.
especially if you've been working really hard to move on and kind of get yourself to a good place.
It's like this emotional boomerang you're not expecting.
Right.
You're like, okay, I've finally gotten to a good place.
Right.
And I'm feeling good and I'm feeling strong. And then suddenly,
There.
yeah, back in your inbox or, calling your phone or whatever it is.
Back in your life.
Yeah. So what would you say is like the worst thing
Oh.
that somebody could do in that moment?
The worst thing that you could do is respond immediately.
Oh.
Because you're going to be reacting from such a raw emotional place. And whether it's anger or curiosity or even like a sense of relief,
Yeah.
often it can lead to you making choices that you might regret later. I've seen that happen so many times.
It makes sense, though, because it's like you're not really thinking clearly.
Yeah.
Your emotions are all over the place.
You haven't had time to process anything.
Yeah. So you're saying it's really important to like hit pause
Yes.
before you do anything?
Like hitting the pause button on a movie.
Okay.
You're not ignoring the situation. You're
Right.
just giving yourself a chance to analyze before you react.
Okay. So we've hit pause. We're not responding. What are we doing in that pause?
So this is where introspection comes in.
Okay.
This is where you really think about why you went no contact in the first place.
Yeah.
Was it to heal from the hurt? Was it to set boundaries? Was it to gain some clarity?
Because I imagine if you haven't really dealt with whatever the underlying issues were,
Yes.
this could just be a way to get sucked right back in.
Absolutely. It could pull you right back into that same dynamic.
Yeah. So it's not just about, what are we going to say to this person?
Right.
But really taking a step back and being like, what was the point of this?
What was the point of this? And has that been achieved?
Right.
And then also you have to think about what are their intentions
Oh, yeah.
in breaking the silence.
Because I imagine that could really run the gamut
It could.
of why somebody's reaching out after all this time.
Some people genuinely miss the connection. They miss you and they want to reconnect. But sometimes it's not so much about missing you.
Yeah.
It's about them realizing
Yeah.
that they lost something
Yeah.
that they took for granted.
So it's almost like a power play in a way
It could be.
to kind of test the waters and see
Yes.
if they still have you under their thumb, so to speak.
Exactly, to see if you're still emotionally available. Or if they can manipulate the situation back to their advantage.
That is intense.
It can be.
So how do we even start to figure that out?
We'll look closely at the message.
Okay.
Does it sound sincere or manipulative? What's the tone? What are they actually saying? But even more important, pay attention to their actions. Do their actions line up with their words?
Yeah, because anybody can, say, I'm sorry or I miss you.
Exactly.
But are they actually showing
Right.
like a change in their behavior? Words are easy.
Words are easy.
Actions are a little bit harder.
Exactly. Actions require effort.
And so while we're trying to figure out what their intentions are,
Yes.
what about us?
That's right. You have to check in with yourself too.
This is where it gets interesting.
This is a big part of it.
Yeah.
Are you truly ready to handle contact with this person?
Yeah.
Is it going to help you to heal, or is it just going to reopen old wounds?
Yeah.
And it's okay to delay responding until you feel emotionally prepared.
It's like we need to do an emotional inventory in a way.
Exactly.
What are our boundaries?
Yes. What are your needs? What are you hoping to achieve?
Because if we don't do that, then we're just kind of going into this blindly.
You risk falling right back into those old patterns.
Yeah.
Remember, no contact is about putting yourself first.
Okay. So let's say we've done all that.
Okay.
We've taken that pause. We've really reflected on why we went no contact.
Yes.
We've tried to look at their intentions and, take that with a grain of salt.
Yes.
And then we've also checked in with ourselves and where we're at.
Okay.
What happens next?
Now, the big question is, how do you want to respond? If you even want to respond at all.
Right, because I imagine there's no right or wrong answer here.
There isn't a one-size-fits-all approach.
Right.
It really depends on your individual situation.
Okay.
Your response or lack of response should align with your own personal goals.
So what are some of those goals?
Well, what are you hoping for?
Okay.
Are you hoping for closure?
Okay.
Are you hoping for reconciliation? Or are you just wanting to reinforce your boundaries? Those are all very different things
Right. Yeah.
that will lead to very different types of responses.
Okay, so let's break those down.
Let's do it.
Welcome back to Healing Growth, where we are talking what happens when somebody reaches out to you after you've gone no contact.
It's definitely a tricky situation to navigate.
It is, and we've been talking about taking that pause.
Yeah.
really thinking about why you went no contact in the first place.
Yes.
Looking at their intentions for reaching out and checking in with ourselves.
Right.
But I feel like there's another important piece that we need to talk about. Intuition.
Yeah, that little voice inside that sometimes is really loud and sometimes is really quiet.
Exactly. And sometimes we try to ignore it.
Oh, yeah, we're really good at that.
We are.
So why is intuition so important in this particular situation? Because you've spent all of this time, creating distance from this person. You've been healing, you've been growing, you've been learning more about yourself and what you really need in a relationship.
Yeah.
And your intuition has been part of that whole journey.
It's like it's been gathering information behind the scenes.
It has.
Even if we haven't been consciously aware of it.
Absolutely. It's been absorbing information processing experiences, and it's developing a deeper understanding of what is healthy for you and what's not.
Okay.
And then when this person reaches out, it's like your intuition snaps to attention.
Ooh.
It's like, whoa, hold on a second.
It's like red alert.
Exactly. It's scanning for red flags. Is this for real or is this...
Yeah, they're trying to pull something.
Are they trying to pull something?
Trying to pull one over on us.
Exactly.
So, like, what would that even feel like?
Well, sometimes it's really clear, like, you just get this, like, oh, no, this is not right.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's more subtle.
Okay.
Like, their words might sound sincere, but you just get this, like, kind of icky feeling.
Okay.
Or maybe you notice, like, a physical reaction, like your chest tightens up, or you get a knot in your stomach.
Like a gut feeling, literal.
Literally a gut feeling. It's your body's way of saying, like, I don't know about this.
Wow. So it's almost like our body knows before our mind does.
Sometimes, yes, our bodies are very intelligent.
Yeah, that's incredible. Okay, so how do we get better at, like, trusting that voice?
Well, mindfulness practices like meditation can be really helpful.
Okay.
Because they help you to tune into your inner world, including those whispers of intuition, and journaling can also be a really great tool.
Oh, yeah. I love journaling.
Me too.
Yeah.
Just write down, like, your immediate reaction when this person reaches out.
Oh, okay.
What comes up for you? Explore those feelings without judgment.
So it's like becoming our own emotional detective in a way.
I love that analogy, yes. Like, what are the clues telling you?
Yeah. What is the evidence saying? Because sometimes our mind wants to, tell us one thing, but our body's, no, girl.
No.
Don't do it.
And remember, trusting your intuition doesn't mean throwing logic out the window.
Okay.
It's about integrating all the information that you have.
Yeah.
Your head, your heart, and your gut.
It's like that three-pronged approach.
Exactly.
So what if our intuition is giving us mixed signals?
That's a good question.
Like maybe we are kind of curious and, maybe a little bit open to the possibility of reconciliation. But we're also like...
hesitant, a little scared.
Yeah, a little bit scared.
Yeah.
I get it.
What do we do then?
That's where setting clear boundaries and taking things slowly can be super helpful.
Okay.
It's like dipping your toe back in the water instead of doing a cannonball.
Yeah, like testing it out.
Yes, exactly. And if you do decide to respond, make sure you're really clear that you're not rushing into anything.
How would we do that?
You could say something like, I'm open to having a conversation.
But I need to take things slowly.
Okay.
Or I'm willing to listen to what you have to say, but I'm not making any promises.
I like that because that kind of honors both sides of it, right?
Yes.
Like, okay, I'm a little bit curious, but I'm also not getting swept away.
Exactly. You're honoring your curiosity, but you're also honoring your need to feel safe.
Yeah.
And in control.
Because ultimately it's about us, right?
It is always about you.
And protecting our well-being.
Exactly. Boundaries are about protecting your well-being, not about punishing the other person.
It's about creating a safe space for ourselves.
Yes.
To explore this new dynamic.
Yes.
Without feeling pressured or obligated.
Exactly. And as you start engaging, pay attention.
To what?
Are your boundaries being respected? Are the conversations productive and respectful? Or are you noticing those same old patterns starting to creep back in?
Like, are we getting triggered?
Are you getting triggered and feeling those same anxieties and hurts?
So it's like, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me.
Exactly. Sometimes giving someone a second chance is a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
It's an act of forgiveness and growth.
Right.
But other times it can just set us up to repeat those same painful patterns.
And I think at the end of the day, we are the only ones who can decide
Absolutely.
What's right for us.
You are the expert on your own life.
There's no right or wrong answer.
There isn't. It's about honoring your own unique journey, your healing, and making choices that align with the future that you're creating.
If our listeners are finding this conversation helpful, make sure you hit that like button.
Yes.
Subscribe to Healing Growth.
We appreciate your support.
We do, and let us know what you think in the comments.
Yeah, we love hearing from you.
We've been talking about a pretty intense topic,
We have.
which is what happens when someone reaches out
Yes.
after you've gone no contact.
After all that work.
And we've talked about, understanding our reasons for going no contact in the first place.
Yeah.
And then looking at their intentions for reaching out.
Yeah.
And then checking in with ourselves and our intuition.
Right. All those important steps.
But I'm curious, how does this all tie into the bigger picture of personal growth?
That's a great question. I think every relationship, every interaction, every experience is a teacher.
Okay.
And no contact, as challenging as it can be,
Yeah.
is a really powerful catalyst for transformation.
So how does this whole experience of having somebody reach out after we've deliberately stepped away,
Yeah.
how does that contribute to our transformation?
Well, when you choose no contact, you're essentially saying, I need space to heal. I need space to reflect. I need space to rediscover myself and what really matters to me. You're prioritizing your well-being.
I bet.
You're reclaiming your power.
It's almost like you're drawing a line in the sand.
And I love that.
And you're like, this is who I am.
Yes.
And this is what I deserve.
Exactly. And then when someone reaches out after that period of separation, it gives you a chance to assess how far you've come.
Oh.
Have you truly healed from the past? Are you clear about your values and what you will and won't tolerate?
Right. Are we still wishy-washy, or are we...
Exactly. Are you standing firm in your power?
So it's almost like a test, in a way,
It is a test.
to see how strong those boundaries are.
Exactly. Have you really integrated those lessons?
Yeah. Have we actually done the work?
You got.
So how we respond, or even if we respond,
Right.
really says a lot.
It does. It speaks volumes about your growth.
What if we totally fail the test?
Right.
What if we get sucked right back in?
Well, if you find yourself getting sucked back into those old patterns, if you're feeling obligated to engage, even though it's compromising your well-being, that's information.
It is.
That's telling you that maybe there's more inner work to be done.
Oh, healing.
More healing.
More boundaries.
More strengthening of those boundaries, exactly.
But on the flip side,
Yeah.
what if we're nailing it?
Yes.
What if we are responding from a place of calm and clarity
Yes.
and, really
Standing in your power.
yeah.
If you can maintain those boundaries while still being compassionate, that is a sign of tremendous growth.
We've leveled up.
You've leveled up.
We've gotten to the next level of the game.
That's it. You're killing it.
I like that. And I think it's important to remember that growth isn't linear.
It's not.
It's not we just suddenly arrive and we're done.
It's a spiral.
Yeah.
You might feel like you're going backwards sometimes, but you're really not.
Right. It's all part of the process.
It's all part of the process. You're just going deeper.
So this isn't just about, how do I respond to this one person?
Right.
It's really about looking at the bigger picture.
It's about understanding who you are becoming.
I love that as we kind of wrap up this deep dive. Is there one key takeaway that you want our listeners to really hold on to?
Yes, when someone reaches out after a period of no contact, see it as a mirror, reflecting your personal growth.
I like that.
It's an invitation to really look at your healing, look at your boundaries, look at your values.
And to make choices that honor who we're becoming.
Beautifully said.
And for all of our amazing listeners out there,
Yes.
if you enjoyed this deep dive with us,
Yeah.
hit that subscribe button.
Yes.
And let us know in the comments
We love hearing from you.
what your experience has been like with no contact.
Yes. What have you learned? What are your challenges?
Because what your insights might help somebody else
They really could.
who is going through something similar.
Right, absolutely. We're all in this together.
Until next time, take care and keep growing.
Bye, everyone.